Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Raw Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling action from Monday Night Raw, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 2154. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Raw was over an hour ago, ladies and gentlemen. I was. And I've yet to find my movie ticket stubs. I don't know where I put them. I don't know where I put them for sure. I gotta find them somewhere. I don't know if I threw them away or written down the list of movies I've seen, and I've done that, and that, or what, I don't know what I did with them. But if I did throw them away, I am consulting the calendars, my personal journal that I have, to even find to find what movies I saw since 1995. Also, I know in 1992 I saw Aladdin at the Dartmouth Mall Theater. And before it was called AMC, it was General Cinema, so you got that. I think I saw it in December of 92. No, I think I saw it in the beginning of January 92. Then, and also in 94, I saw The Lion King at the Fairhaven Bijou. So there's that as well. So yeah, I see a lot of movies. So I don't know where I put them. I'm going to keep on looking. And plus, I did take pictures of my ticket stubs at the movies, on my phone and all that good stuff. So I'm trying to track the phones down, track everything down, so to speak. So hopefully I will get the list to you guys and everything else in between. Now we'll start my real shenanigans real shenanigans on film. I should call it the real shenanigans of 1992. I know the first couple of movies I seen. The first movie I seen, I do believe, was back in 1988 at the Dartmouth Mall Theater. Was known as Cinema 8 back in the day. Saw The Karate Kid 2. I remember my father and some of my friends in my church took me to see that movie. Also, at the after-school program, it was Parker School and all that, I think over the summer we saw 101 Dalmatians. So, and that was way back in the 80s. I think that was the first. The 101 Dalmatians was the first movie I seen in theaters, I do believe. But I digress. So I know I did see a lot of movies over the years, and I'm hoping to, like I said, once I get all the lists, the entire list, I'm going to run them down one by one, and we'll go from there. It's not like a one-man popcorn panel podcast for me. So I do apologize for the appearance right now. So with everything else is going on, so it is crazy. But we got to talk about Monday Night Raw, folks. And as you know, we are 12 days away. In fact, a week from this Saturday is WrestleMania, folks. A week from this Saturday is WrestleMania. So, basically 12 days left. We're winding down. Adam Pearce has got the Women's World title in the ring. I said, is it vacant? Is Io Sky hurt? And I was kind of concerned. But he says we're going to address the situation. He called out the three ladies that were involved. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and the Women's World Champ, Io Sky. And of course, Bianca Belair starts talking smack to Rhea Ripley. And all that. Everybody's booing Bianca Belair. and so she was about to sign the she signed the contract. So, and then Rhea Ripley tried to respond, and then Bianca Belair just shut up and signed the contract, and And so Rhea goes, fine. She signs the contract. And then both women were still arguing, right? And then it was Io's turn to talk. Io's trying to tell him to knock it off. All of a sudden, they pushed her away again. And then she's about had enough. And then Adam Pearce says, hey, you got to sign the contract. Says, I know, but I need to send a message. She ended up drop kicking both of them, grabs the contract, signs it up. It's official. Triple threat match for the women's world title at WrestleMania. So, and then there was a huge matchup about, it was announced for the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-Way. Braun Breaker will be defending it against two Judgment Day members, Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. And Penta will be the fourth man. Boy, Penta was only, 3 full months in the WWE. He's entering his fourth month in the WWE. He's already going to WrestleMania. How cool is... Penta's going to be saying, what is life, amigos? That's for sure. And believe me, Penta, I would be happy for him to walk out the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. That would be really cool. And now his brother is in the WWE as well. Ray Phoenix made his debut this past Friday night. He's got to be on Cloud 9 right now. And if I know Penta, yo soy Cierro Miato. Anyways, Judgment Day was talking about that. Finn Balor was saying, nobody thinks you can do it, but you know what? I believe in you. You can do it. You can beat Penta tonight. And then the women's Intercontinental title was on the line. Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. Defending the title is Valkyria. Heck of a matchup between these two ladies. They were going back and forth. And also, this coming Friday on SmackDown, they got to team up and join forces in a gauntlet match. And number one contenders women's tag team gauntlet match, where the winner will take on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania. And Lyra Valkyria ended up winning the matchup. And then Lyra Valkyria extended her hand to shake it. Bayley smacks it away. But then she goes, no. She turns around, gives Lyra Valkyria the big hug, and they have a lot of respect for each other. And that was cool, super cool. Meanwhile, Kathy Kelly interviewed comedian Bert Kreischer as he's talking about his new Netflix special. And then American May interrupts him, and he says, you know what? Can't wait to see El Grande Americano. He says, well, hate to break it to you, but I'm not here to see you guys. And then Alpha Academy runs into him. Bert Kreischer and Otis were having a good time, took off the shirts, and yay, all that good stuff. Kira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree look on. And so Jackie Redmond interviewed AJ Styles about him facing Logan Paul in a match at WrestleMania. But then, as AJ Styles was talking, Karrion Kross talks some smack to him, along with Scarlett. And Scarlett and Karrion Kross playing some mind games. And so that will result in a matchup next week, Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. See how that fares out. Meanwhile, Trios action. The LWO, Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde to face the team of American Made the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus, with Ivy down in their corner, and El Grande Americano. Really? Are we going to start this? Are we going to start this crap? Come on. We all know the idiot under the mask. That's not a masked luchador. It's an idiot. Chad Gable. Come on. Seriously? You know how bad it was? It got to the point where Chad Gable, during the matchup, asked Ivy Nile for the medal, and he put the medal in his mask. Rey Mysterio saw it. Come on. You can't be fooling anybody. Come on. That's really Chad Gable, you ding-dong. He's like, oh, the mask gave me powers and all that. Yeah, sure. But El Grande Americano and the Creeds win the matchup because of that. Now, as you know, Raw was taking place in Minnesota, and then Carlito made a Mall of America joke. Gunther was about to address the Minnesota crowd. Jey Uso interrupts Gunther, smacks the mic out of his hand, and he says, you know how I feel? Why weren't you there for him? I thought Jey Uso said I was tied up on the ropes, couldn't do anything, even though I wanted to, but at the same time, I'm afraid. And Jey Uso admitted it. He was afraid. And then he says, when I get in the ring with you, I'm taking that title. And I'll tell you one thing. Could this be the second year in a row, second WrestleMania in a row, Gunther loses the championship after holding it for a long reign? We'll find out for sure. Meanwhile, Natalya and Maxine Dupree were talking to Pierce, and Natalya was kind of nervous and all this. And, Maxine Dupree. And you know what? We're talking about jumping the deep end, guys. And Natalya goes, okay, fine. And Maxine Dupree was pretty excited about it. Talking about the women's gauntlet match at SmackDown this Friday. Meanwhile, Rey Mysterio comes in and says that he wants El Grande Americanos. You can just name your date, name the place. Because I thought about it. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. And I am hoping Rey Mysterio exposes El Grande Americano. Because I don't think El Grande Americano is actually a luchador. It's that idiot Chad Gable. He's trying, Chad, a mask won't make you powerful. Come on. Chad Gable's not fooling me anymore. Nope. I don't care what people say. Chad Gable's El Grande Americano. I'm not stupid. In fact, if I go to a live event and I saw El Grande Americano, I'm not stupid. El Grande Americano equals Chad Gable. He's not fooling me. I'll talk a little bit about that. Lima don't play that. Oh, my goodness. Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian, joined McAfee and Michael Cole on commentary as the tag team titles were on the line. The War Raiders defending them against the New Day. And during the matchup, the New Day went to go grab a chair. Ivar says, no, you're not using the chair. Give me the chair. And then all of a sudden he got the chair from Xavier Woods, hits him with it by accident, and hits him with it. Not by accident, but hits him with it. But the referee caught them. They were disqualified. New Day wins the matchup. He said, I didn't mean... and he's like, and he brought the chair in the ring. So... And New Day will complain about it. They'll probably say, if the War Raiders get themselves disqualified on purpose. I would have said, listen. The War Raiders did not mean for that to happen. Come on. Are you seriously? You got to be kidding me with that. I would say, let the rule book go out the window. No excuses. There'll be a rematch for the tag titles of WrestleMania. But anything goes. Street fight. Anything goes. That's why, if I was Adam Pearce, I would book that matchup. And the New Day's going to start crying like babies. And then Tony Hinchcliffe, what an idiot. He says, they were better since they dropped the Wink Link and Big E. Big E, the Wink Link, are you freaking seriously? Got to be kidding me. Well, I'm hoping one of these days that you see Big E back in that ring. And he finds Tony Hinchcliffe and tosses him into the 10th row. Wink Link, are you kidding me, Hinchcliffe, you doofus? I would have knocked down Hinchcliffe and done this to his little freaking little goatee, Hey, Hinchcliffe, that's going to happen to you when I knock you out. Jeepers, seriously? You got to be kidding me with that crap. Big E's the weak link. Your mama's the weak link. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, so the New Day continues to attack the War Raiders after the match. Referees and officials came to stop them. In the tents, also, the creator of Devil May Cry, the movie, Adi Shankar, and then Love is Blind's Taylor and Daniel were in attendance, and they got married and having their first date. And then, once again, Kreischer joined in on the fun. Main event. So, matchup. Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. And, heck of a matchup, but Penta ended up winning the match in the end. Carlito attacks Penta after the match, and then Braun Breaker shows up, spears Carlito, Dom, and Penta, and then Finn Balor attacks Breaker from behind, grabs the title, but Breaker gets up, attempts to spear Balor. Balor drops the belt and gets out of the ring. There you go. Paul Heyman addresses the Minnesota crowd about he's still going to be loyal to both Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Seth Rollins questions that, and he says, I don't think Roman Reigns cares about you at all. Starts talking smack to Heyman, and then Heyman fires back at him, telling him not to touch him and all that. Roman's about to attack Heyman. CM Punk and Rollins decide to brawl it out. Rollins stomps Punk, and then he's about to do the same thing to Heyman, but Heyman, Heyman got out of the way, and then he grabs the microphone and tell Heyman, now you owe me. What is Paul Heyman loyal to Seth Rollins all along, and Punk and Reigns do not know about it? Going to be an interesting situation. Well, that's all the time we have on this show. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode 2153 of the show. Tomorrow we got High Rollers and we got NXT. We're going to have a little fun and all that good stuff. And I'm still on vacation. So I'll be on vacation for the next 4 days, folks. And hopefully I will get some news about the Red Sox and Big BPE's Boston Ballers beat. That'll be another episode I might make. Excuse me, I'm going to try to continue looking for movies and whatnot. So I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big BPE and Door for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.